Hi, Team Cup. I wanted to make this really short video to kind of go over the importance of following Megan Ewoldson's video kind of almost to a T, and I can tell you why it's important to do that really quick follow-up and why it's important to ask those questions and to be listening to them when they're commenting in the challenge groups. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our game plan. Let me tell you what what we're learning, what I've been learning. Everyone that is here on this Team Cup, so that would be Helly, Alexi, Shannon, Nicole, and myself, so all five of us. I know all five of us want to advance to whatever the rank is next. Does that make sense? I know that if you haven't made Emerald yet, that would mean that you want to make Emerald, which again is two coaches, which again, one of them, if you are married, if you're married, you need to have one of them as your spouse. If you have a good relationship, let me go ahead and put that out there. If you have a relationship that feels like it's going to be moving forward for a really long time, then you want them to be a part of one of those first two coaches. That's very, very important. If you're not, it is important for you to have a family member, if at all possible. A family member that you trust, that you've had a really, really good relationship with. And the reason why I say that is because my first coach was not my spouse. My first coach was my cousin Leanne, and that was a person that I knew was going to always be in my life and had gone through a challenge with me. And when I was a first time coach, so 2 years ago, and it took me a long time to get up the nerve to ask her. But because of all of this time that I've had to kind of build how to approach people, when to approach people, how fast to follow up with them, that is where you are going to get some better advice, faster advice from me and from Helly. Because of the five coaches on this team, this Team Cup team right now, Helly and I have the most experience. And Helly's been in certain situations and I've been in certain situations. And so always ask us. We might have gone through the same scenario that you're going through, and we may have felt the same apprehension that you might be feeling. Getting to Emerald is not as hard as I made it in my head. So let me put that out there. I know that people get really nervous about asking, but that is probably because you're asking to sell and not to add value. Does that make sense? So I didn't really realize all of this when I first was thinking about it. When I first asked Leanne, I did understand that because she loved Shakeology, and by that point she'd already paid 2 months full price for Shakeology, and at that point I didn't know how to relay to her that I felt horrible about the fact that she was actually paying full price and she didn't need to pay full price. Immediately when I told her that she was going to save money on a shake that she liked, she didn't ask any more questions. It was a no-brainer to her, which to me, I put way more into it than needed to be put into it. So I was adding value to her because I was giving her about $30 back every single month that she had been paying. And again, I'm not getting that, extra $30 every month. That was not something that I even really was thinking about. I just kept thinking, oh my gosh, to ask her would be like, I don't know, her doing me a favor, when in reality, no, I wasn't doing anybody any favors by not asking her to save money. Does that make sense? So the one of the two people that you need to have on your legs needs to be a family member. A lot of times people go with their spouse because they have a lot of control over where they can put their next business center. And I'll get to that in a little bit. But again, I know Alexi wants to get to Emerald. I would imagine that Shannon, since she wants to build, she wants to get to Emerald. And Nicole, I'm sure you want to get to Emerald. And so Helly and I want to get to at least a star diamond, which means that Helly would need to become a diamond, or or Alexi would need to become a diamond. At this point, I have on my team, now I have 4 builders, I have to say. I do have 4 builders on my team, and now I actually have those 4 builders, 2 on one side, 2 on the other, which is pretty amazing. I didn't plan it that way, obviously. But I do have that many people who are telling me that they want to build. So, all of that to say, everyone here needs to advance to the next level by the end of this month. That should be our goal as much as possible. So, I'm trying to give you some great information from Megan, because she does a really great job of explaining like how you should follow up, some really great scenarios, and when you should follow up in 2 to 3 days for sure. Okay, so that's one part of this. Now, the next part is, let me tell you a little bit about the game plan that I now know how to do. It's going to be long, so maybe what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll wrap this up. I'll send this one to you, and then I'll do another video here in a second to let you know the second half of the story.